Turn me up just a little bit. Yeah, it's that man space vibe. Step in the zone, microphone check. Russ and Les got the real intellect. Talk smooth like jazz on a late night set. With a convo deep and the topics connect. From the struggles to the wins, they address it with grace. Drop lines so cool, you can feel the bass. Two kings of the craft, and you know the rest. Kick back, pour a drink, welcome to the space. You go chillin' with Russ and Les. You go chillin' with Russ and Les. You go chillin' with Russ and Les. Hang out, cause now you vibing with nothing but the best. Space forever.
Welcome into another edition of the Manspace Podcast. Now, this is the voice of Russ, and with me, as always, who is bored out of his mind since the NBA Finals are over, the one and only Big Les.
I'm not going to say too bored. I'm not going to say that. That's a stretch, sir. That's a stretch. Oh, man. But, hey, listen. For all the NBA heads and the New York Knicks fans, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations.
53 years is a long time to wait, but coming from a Detroit Lions fan, hey, I still might have you beat. I'm not sure. All I'm going to say is,
you definitely got to beat. I got a chance to be up in Raleigh when the Hurricanes won.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
I know it was amazing.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I've attended a couple parades, and I will tell you what, it is a great time, sir.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah.
Yes.
We're having a good time. Yes.
Yep. So congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. And hopefully the Atlanta Braves can do something in baseball this year.
Wow. There's nothing wrong with hoping. There's nothing wrong with hoping. There's nothing wrong with it.
Hey, right now we're the best team in baseball.
Yeah, because y'all not playing. Like that one, huh? Okay. That's pretty quick on it.
Yeah. You were quick on it.
But it's all good, though. Hey, man.
But Les.
Yeah, man. What's up? No, I was just going to trash. I was going to trash your Braves a little bit more, but I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, please do. Okay. So I really want to get us to our guest, and I'm going to kind of rush the show along because as we're recording this one, there's a bad storm that's moving through our area. It's the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. So everybody who's been in the path of this one, I hope that everybody has been safe, and everyone who is still in the path of the remnants of it, just do and take the precautions to be safe. Yes. So, guys, Manspace Nation, buckle up, because our guest today, he's testified before Congress. He's been a trained F-16. He's trained F-16 fighter pilots. He's built and sold multiple million-dollar companies from the ground up, and he still feels time to become the Grampian, the champion grandpa of 20. Les, how many do you have?
13.
You have 13.
13.
Now let me ask you, Les.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Grampian, a champion grandpa, or are you a Tom Brady and say F them kids?
No, I don't do the F them kids, man. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So
I had one spend the night while I was working last night. So I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
No, sir. No.
And this guy, he is a best-selling author, and he is the author of this book right here called Building Men.
Building Men.
Yes. Manspace Nation, give it up for our guest today, Mr. Jim Tracy.
Oh, thank you. What an introduction. I do have to tell you, I never trained F-16 pilots. They trained me. So
Okay.
it was the other way around.
Yeah.
And I'm cheating a bit with the grandkids because I've got 19 grandchildren and one great grandson.
Oh,
but he's not going to be born till July. So.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Hey, we can still count him. He's good. He's in there.
Right on. Oh.
That is so awesome. So, Jim, if you could just introduce yourself to the Manspace Nation, please.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't want you to think that I am a champion grandpa. I was playing a card game with my grandson Wes, and we were sitting at the lake and just playing cards, and Wes is incredibly competitive. And so I beat him because our cards, like cards at our place, is a contact sport, right?
Yeah.
and so I beat him in a game of cribbage, and he stood up and he slapped his cards down. And he says, "You're not grandpa." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" He goes, "You're not a champion either." And I'm like, Wes, like, calm down, man. Like, chill out a bit. And he goes, and he got a wry smile. He goes, "You're Grampian now." And I'm like, "Okay, man." That's where that came from. I'm not so egotistical. I would call myself a grandpa champion, but I am taking what he give me. So
that's all you can do. You know,
right.
You didn't name yourself, somebody else named you. So it must be true. That's how I look at it.
Well,
that's the best nickname stick that way. Somebody else names you.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them you don't want to stick though. So I did my pilot training, and I was trying to run a business at the same time. I was trying to learn to fly jets, and flying jets is a little bit different than flying propeller-driven aircraft. And so the guy who's training me, he makes me move away from home, like 2 hours away from home, and stay in a hotel so nobody bugs me, so I can focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I get done with my check ride, and the FAA examiner leaves. He goes, "Tracy, here's the deal." He said, "Everybody gets a call sign when they pass my jet training." And he said, "Your call sign is chaos, because your life is effing chaos, man." and so now I'm Grampian chaos.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's a T-shirt, man.
Right.
That's a T-shirt right there.
The chaos was definitely not intended to be a compliment.
Yeah.
Right. So your book, Building Men, Characters, Lessons from Influencers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sharing stories from figures who influenced your business acumen. Could you just tell the Manspace Nation a little bit more about the book?
Okay. The book is about people. And those people, even from when I was young, they had a tremendous influence on me because they took the time. A lot of times they didn't have the time, but they took it anyway. And they spent it on shaping and developing my character. Because I was not, I would never be accused of being an easy youth to raise. And as I got older, it got worse. So I had people like my dad and my grandpa and some people from around there who had to kind of knock a knucklehead in the noggin to keep him on the straight and narrow. But I always say, fortunately, I got married young, so I didn't end up in jail. And and my wife is a tough woman. So I guess we're just getting started on the married thing. We've only been going married for 46 years. So
wow.
Yeah,
because listen,
applause by itself, right?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize marriage while raising children versus marriage when you're an empty nester are two completely different marriages.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you can imagine, she even kept me around after the kids left.
That's the most amazing part right there. I mean, hey, anybody named with Grampian, what was the Grampian chaos? Yeah, Grampian chaos. There's some things going on there.
Yeah.
That's not in the direction that we want to go with this show, but I just wanted to touch on that, because 46 years, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing.
Because there's so many people that get married, and they get married, especially getting married young, and they have kids.
Yeah.
And once the kids are gone, the parents don't know how to relate to each other anymore.
Exactly.
Because everything is about their kids, especially when they're young.
Yeah.
Everything is about their kids. And now when the kids are gone, it's like you don't have that force that's keeping you together anymore. So the fact that you and your wife, figured out how to continue to make this work and be an example for you, for not only your kids, but now you're being an example for your grandkids. But that deserves another applause by itself.
All I can do is say congratulations.
Probably more for her, but it really, when you think about it, it is a journey, and sometimes during a journey, you got to change directions a little bit. And so when your focus is on when you're first married, your focus is just on surviving. Like, how you gonna put food on the table? How you gonna keep a roof over your head? Wonder how you're gonna tell your wife the truck got repoed. I mean, there was a lot of times when she was wondering how big a mistake she really made. And then, but you go through, and then we built a business together along with my son. And then after that, you wake up and all the kids are gone, and all of a sudden you look and you got to get to know each other again. And that's just kind of another left-hand turn, right-hand turn, but you got to focus on what's important.
Yeah. I agree 100%, man. Now,
it's all about relationships, isn't it?
Yes, 100%.
That's the beauty of it. You're able to get back to it and then rediscover a lot of things, that you forgot. The reason you're in the place that you're in the place, that you had these children, that you had this big dream. You're able to, the successful ones are able to come back together and continue to build on those things that they put a little wedge in between. Kids, high school, colleges, and all of that stuff. And then sprinkle on a few little grandbabies on top of that. I mean, hey, you got a lot going on, sir.
I love what you said, rediscover, because you kind of do. You wake up and all of a sudden you went to bed and you were 19 years old and you woke up and you're 55 and you're like, what
the hell
what just happened?
What is this?
It's the wrong color.
Where did this go? Where did it go?
I love your barber, by the way, Les.
Hey, man, I'm sitting right next to you, brother.
There you go. Oh goodness!
So you mentioned your grandson giving you the name the Grampian. Now, what does that title actually mean to you?
Wow, it just started off as something kind of cool, but I did a work podcast for hundreds of episodes, and then I missed it so much. I started my own, and we're like, well, what do we call it? And everybody's like, the Grampian. So it's become kind of a persona that people look at, and what it's turned into is not about me, but it's Grandpa Chats with Champions. Yeah. And so when people come on my podcast, we're talking to, business leaders in aviation and sports and people who, and I hopefully allow them to tell their story. And it's never really about that Super Bowl dopamine type hit. Yeah. It's about the journey and the team. Yeah. And I guess that's what I've learned more than anything, because all these champions, they recognize it. They didn't build themselves. Somebody else built them, which is really, in turn, that's kind of what the book was about. I mean, I'm just a guy. I was probably voted least likely to make anything of myself in my whole class. And at the end of the day, the people that invested in me, they ended up with a return that I guess looks like a Grampian. So awesome. That's a long story made short, or long story made short longer. I don't know.
But it was explained perfectly. But I have some things I heard earlier about airplanes. Yeah. I don't know if or not. Russ and I both were ex-military. I was a helicopter guy. Once I got out of that, I went to work for Cessna.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I see the flag in the background back there.
Yeah.
So, so what type of planes did you? What planes were you flying? I know you were, propeller. But
Yeah, I
what was-
started out. It actually started before that. I was standing with my dad. I had, and one of the stories in the book talks about this is that I got a seed planted in me early, but then I'm 46 years old. I'm standing outside in South Dakota with my dad, and a 172, a little Cessna flies over the top,
Cessna.
and I'm
Yep.
like, hey, Dad, when was the last time you were up? And he goes, oh, it's years and years and years ago. And he said, I'd give anything to do that again. And that was in April. And the following October the 6th, I came back from Washington State to his home in South Dakota, and I took him on a flight.
Awesome.
Where it started in a rental 172.
Wow.
Business, I bought a Piper Saratoga at passenger, and I just flew that back and forth between our branches and flew my wife to her grandkids, which was another reason she kept me around. I'm her favorite pilot.
Of course.
Then we went. Then we went. We had a branch in Bozeman, Montana, and I was in Boise, and I was over the River of No Return wilderness area. And I looked down, and there ain't no place to land. It's
no place. It's all trees, evergreens,
and rocks.
Yeah, that's it.
And so I got home, and I was telling my wife about that, and she said the thing that every pilot longs to hear from their spouse: honey, you should get a twin engine. And, and so we moved into a Eclipse jet, which is a very light jet, which we recently sold, and I'm back in the market for a Piper Malibu, so I can land at my grandkids' place.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
So it's been a journey, kind of up and down, and in more ways than one, up and down. But we've been really blessed, and we're very grateful. That aviation dream is something that is very unique, but it puts you in part of a pretty small club.
Absolutely. Yeah, I worked for Cessna actually. So I was a part of the flight line mechanics for the Citation 10s.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Great aircraft.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I qualified in a Citation, but not a 10. So there's a lot going on, and it happens pretty fast.
Absolutely. And that is a fast jet. You know, we took off at lunchtime, flew to California and back to Wichita before the end of my shift.
Yeah.
You know, so I loved it too. But hey, I'm glad to see there's some aviation bug in there. We can't get Russ, he's there,
Yeah.
He'd rather travel on a bus.
What kind of choppers were you flying?
Oh, I was a flight line, a crew chief.
Okay.
For Apaches and Blackhawks.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, those are my things.
Hey, that's who runs the service right there.
Yeah, man.
No crew chief, nobody working.
No flight. That's it. That's it.
All right, Russ, you can join us.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. So I was sitting here while you guys were having your little helicopter flight time love fest here.
He sounds really jealous right now.
I'm telling you.
No, this is such an ugly thing, Russ. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you. Normally, he'd put a picture of a fairy up of me or something already. So look, he's looking for it right now. I see his eyes shifting. I see his eyes shifting right now.
Well, Russ, I want you to know that chapter 1 is my grandpa. His name was Russ Brown. So
look at that.
That was my grandfather.
Yeah. See that?
Awesome, man.
You can change your name.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. But I was looking through your podcast here, and one episode actually just caught my attention, and it's going to be the first one that I actually listened to. And it was why AI will disrupt 3 billion jobs. Now, what of all the episodes that you've done, like, if you could tell somebody in the Man Space Nation, like, hey, this is the one, which is probably my favorite, that you need to listen to first. Is there one that you would point to?
Wow, the first one, episode 1 was with my grandson, so I kind of got a big heart for that one. But there's,
Yeah.
you know how you have it in your mind what a podcast is supposed to look like, what it's supposed to be, and I said kind of put a half an hour limit on it, and then I got Justin Astro Elliott in, and he was the only man in the world to ever be trained as a U.S. Air Force demonstration pilot as the Thunderbird. He was Thunderbird 1.
Yeah.
He was also on the U.S. Air Force fighter tactical fighter school. So it would be the Top Gun of the Air Force. So that's the U.S. Air Force weapons school, and he was also a U.S. Air Force test pilot school graduate.
Yeah.
So he was the person. And so I'm going for half an hour. And then at an hour, I'm like, dude, I'm really sorry. I got to take a bio break. We're going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so we come back and we did another hour. So all of a sudden my half-hour podcast is 2 hours long just because his stories are so cool. And also just recently did one with a fella, and every Thanksgiving and Easter, I put a pastor or a preacher on with me, and I kind of put them in a position to defend their faith. And that's kind of fun because I pop some buttons. I know where to push a little bit. But there was a fellow on by the name of Andrew Palau, and his father was Luis Palau, who was known as kind of the Billy Graham of Latin and Central America, or Latin and South America. Yeah. And so he came on, and his story is amazing. He was a knucklehead till he was 28 years old, drove his parents crazy, drugs, booze, rock and roll. You know, he made every bad decision, and he talks about it. And so he wrote a book, and I had him on, but he was just an amazing story.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
That's
awesome. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because when you start doing these podcasts and just some of the guests, you're like, man, as you finish, like, man, that one's my favorite. Oh man, that one's my favorite.
Then here comes the next one. You're like, wait a minute.
Right. We've had those moments. We've had some good ones. We've had some duds. But we've had some really, really good ones. Yeah. And it's interesting, especially when you get to now when you're starting to have other people share their stories.
Yeah.
And you learn so much from people, and it's amazing. I love doing this now.
Yeah.
Les used to drive me crazy back in the day, but now it's like, this is like
it is.
I love this.
Now he's driving you crazy, but you're buying the gas.
Yeah. He keeps pouring the gas on it. That's what he's doing. That's what he does.
Oh, you guys are a trip.
That's what I'm gonna start calling him, the porator. The porator.
You got me crying over here.
And like that.
See, there it is. I knew it was coming.
With wings.
You know what? There's something about frolicking through the woods. That's what I live in the country, and he's always teasing me about frolicking. Are you outside frolicking? No, I'm watching out for copperheads.
You know how much air he caught?
Yeah.
I mean, that dude's got springs in his legs. Look at that.
Hey, man.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
It's the special. It's the special designed pants. They're aerodynamic.
Yeah, I think maybe he could put that rock in the hoop. Just saying. He's got a slam going on there.
Well, I appreciate that, but that's an AI generated photo. I trip over flat rocks.
Yeah,
it is.
Better to look good than to be good,
photos. Right? Before we go to break, speaking of generated photos, we have our Less Meme tournament.
Oh, here we go.
Manspace Nation, you guys gotta subscribe to us at ManspaceNat1 on Instagram. Subscribe to us because June 25th the tournament starts. Round 1 of the Less Meme tournaments. You got to be able to subscribe to us so you can see it in the stories and vote for your favorite less mean.
I see you
And
created some different ones.
the winner, no, these are all the ones we chose.
No, no.
July 1st, the tournament, you got to be able to vote before then, because the season premiere, the winner will be announced at the season premiere of season 7. You good, Les?
I'm going to choke you. I'm going to choke you. I'm just going to let you know that. I am truly going to choke you. It's okay.
We're gonna take a break and allow Les to calm down, and we'll be back with more with our guest Jim Tracy. We are back with our special guest, Mr. Jim Tracy.
Yes, sir.
So now that we're calm, we're not doing any more memes or anything. Not anymore today. Anyway.
Well, I appreciate that, because my finger was itching. You know, that's all I'm gonna say.
Day is still young.
Yes, the day is still young.
It is.
The day is still young.
It is.
There you go.
Oh,
so Jim,
gosh.
kind of take us back into the garage. You know, you bootstrapped your way from nothing into something massive.
Yeah.
Now, what did that grind really look for you, and how large did things actually get, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, so I think it's really important for people to understand the why, and because the why you go into a business is really pretty an important part of the story. And when I was a kid, I put up power line towers all across northern Minnesota, and so I had some experience in towers. And then I was a welder, man. I'm like not the sharpest guy in the shed, right?
Yeah.
And so I have a pretty decent business career, but my son was kind of enamored with that tower part. And so he took a job when he was 17 putting up cell phone towers. And I went out to his job site and I thought, wow, these guys are way more unsafe today than I was in 1977.
Right.
By a lot. And as a matter of fact, I think somebody's probably going to get killed out here. That's how bad it was. So I started writing him about it. I'm like, dude, you gotta quit that job, man. Somebody's really going to get hurt. It's not even close to funny. It's pretty serious. And he's like, I like my job, make good money. Like, you're kind of an old dude now, and so you probably don't understand, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, but I kept my spurs into him. And then one night he came home and I said, and I think he got a little scared. And I said, hey, you got to knock that off. And he said, hey, if you're so smart, let's just do it ourselves. And I quit my job and I took all my retirement and all my 401k and we threw it into Trucks and Tools and we started building cell towers, and started with 2 of us. And we had it wasn't figuratively out of my garage. It was literally out of my garage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like we were painting, we lived out in the country. We were painting towers in our driveway and and tower parts. So, and then we'd ship them to site and put them up and stuff. But it grew into 5 locations across the Pacific Northwest. We did Eastern and Western Washington, Montana, Idaho, and Salem, Oregon, and now Salem, Oregon. And then we merged that. That same kid came to me when he was closing in on 40, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna go be a rancher while I can still do it. It's been my dream to be a rancher since I was 8 years old." And I'm like,
wow,
okay. So we merged that business in with some other businesses, and that became a company called Intertech Holdings, which became another company called Ontivity. And now we went from like 2 employees, me and him, to when we sold it, it was about 150 employees. And then we merged it with the other ones, went to like 800 employees. And we did infrastructure and a line, like everything south from Seattle to Miami, everything south of that line we did. And so it was by the time it was done, you're talking about a company with revenue of in excess of $200 million.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Wow.
Congratulations.
We hit that at the right time though, too.
Yeah.
You talk about being, if you hit that at the time when the hockey stick is turning way north, then it's a lot easier to build a business and to make money when you hit the cycle.
Yeah. That cycle means everything.
Better lucky than good.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sometimes it's better to be lucky. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, climbing those towers, man, that's amazing by itself. Because I mean, those towers are anywhere from 50 feet to 400 feet high at times, right?
Yeah,
And
1,000, even 2,000 feet. We kind of put a cap on it because of where we were geographically. We didn't build anything over 500 feet tall, but some of our guys climbed up to 700 feet, and that's the tallest tower that there is in the state of Washington. So
wow. I used to complain about 25 feet. I complained about 25 feet. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, I'm not doing it no more.
Well, this is also straight vertical. It's not climbing up a ladder with a slight incline to it where you get to use all legs.
Yeah.
This is about
straight up.
Straight up. And I got a guy that worked for us, his name William. He's one of my favorites. He said he's going to set a record, and he had a 750-foot tower, and he climbed it in 19 minutes. And he stood at the top and had a cigarette when he was done.
Did he run up? Did he run up the line? Did he run?
Oh man, yeah. And they're tied off all the time, so he was hooking as he went. So
holy crap! So
that's a lot of height.
That's squirrel. That's what we're gonna call him, squirrel. And if people don't know what hooking means, it's a lashing cable that you connect to. So if you do fall, it's a safety lashing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there was no safety climb on it, so he was hooking. And then climb up, and then you hook the next one, and unhook the last one. So they call it double hooking. So hey Russ, don't get confused with hooker. So
your favorite pastime.
We're just gonna put that out there now. We know you got a problem with words and verbiage. I didn't want you to add an ER, hard R onto that. Okay. All right.
Russ is struggling to not get out of control, isn't he? Huh?
Yeah. Let me tell you, he struggles every moment of life. I promise you.
Now he's gonna go downtown. He's gonna say, "Hey, these old guys were picking on me."
Yeah. He's gonna go tell my sister that, and then she's gonna call me, "Why are you messing with my husband?" Go away. But listen, Jim. So I understand you've been called the curator of culture, right? Now, that's a very powerful title, man. So tell me what that actually means to curate a culture, and in the sense that this name was given to you.
Yeah. I had a client. I do some consulting where I actually go into businesses and I help them revive their culture. We call it the Culture Revival Blueprint. Okay. And the reason I do that is because I started running into CEOs, and they would tell me, this is great. I like the money, but boy, I just hate my job now. And I'd be like, what do you mean you hate your job? It gets too political. It gets to this, it gets to that. And so you have to go back. What did you want it to look like when you started it? Yeah. And so one of these fellas said, "Hey man, you're the curator of culture." And I was like, curator? That sounds like an old guy in a museum. I don't want anything to do with that. Yeah. And he goes, "No, man, that's Latin. It means to care for." And so you're someone that cares for the culture of a business. And I'm like, all right, I'll do that. Yeah. And so a lot of times what happens as businesses grow is they turn their passion into a passion for money or for growth or for revenue or for profit, and they forget about the people who brung them.
Yeah.
If you don't dance with who brung you, that just makes you a bad person.
Absolutely.
So let's go back and let's start caring about the people. A lot of people, they ask me like, you ended up like you were CEO over 200 people. And I'm like, never was CEO over 200 people. I was CEO over 200 families. And every one of them, their wife wanted to make sure that I had my poop together so they could go to the grocery store.
Absolutely.
And so they asked, a lot of people have asked, what was the most important thing or the most important decisions you had to make as a CEO? And I'm like, well, once we got big enough, the most important task I had was to write a birthday card to every employee and send it to their house. So once a year, they got a handwritten note from, quote, the big boss. And he said, hey, I see you. I know, and I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for this thing. And sometimes I'd have to, reach out to some other people and find out a little bit about them.
More about
Because it's hard when you get that many people. But if you forget about those folks, it just makes you an idiot.
Yeah. And those little bitty things, something like that, even though it makes a huge difference because they say, oh, I've been recognized from the top.
Yeah.
Right. And it makes a huge difference.
I've had grown men throw their arms around me and tell me they'd never had a birthday card in their life. And they would, and I literally have had one cry on my shoulder saying, what you've done means so much. I'm like, wow, this is really uncomfortable, but thank you.
In my 9-to-5 world, I still work in corporate America in my 9-to-5 world. And the first year that I was with the company I work for now, my CEO sent me one of those handwritten notes on my birthday. And I was like, just so impressed because I've been in companies where executive leadership wouldn't even want to get on the elevator with people that weren't executive leadership. And I get the CEO sending me a letter on my birthday. And I was like, wow, that meant something. And the fact that, out of all the employees, she probably knows about 90 to 95% of the employees by name, and knows some fact about every single one. And that's amazing to me. And, those are the type of people that when you build that culture around and you establish that, it changes the whole environment, that people will work harder for you because of that environment, that curator of culture.
I don't really want them to work harder. What I want them to do is I want them to be delighted that they've been provided a place to work where someone loves them. Absolutely. And if hard work comes out of that, then that's all the better. But they're supposed to have the back of their workmates. They're not supposed to have the back of me. I can take care of myself. But my job is to take care of them, one and all. And that's really where the podcast came from. When we started up, man, I walked out in the shop one time, and it's a totally absolute blue collar business. And but I walked back in the shop one day and I said to this dude, I said, can I help you? He looked at me, had this kind of weird look on his face. He goes, I work for you. And I didn't know him, and it shook me to my core. So I went back in and I said, we're going to come up with a plan. And we used to do a conference call with 100 people on the phone, and we did it every week. And as a matter of fact, our guy said to me, the guy who read it, he says, you can't do that live. And I'm like, why not? He goes, because they're going to ask you questions you are not going to want to answer. And I'm like, I pretty much think I can handle that. So the very first one, we get 100 people on a conference call, and the very first question that comes up is, hey, Mr. Tracy, how much money do you make? And I'm like, wow, that's a great question. How much money do you make? And he said, well, there's a lot of people on this call. I don't want to say in front of all of them. And I said, Me neither. So we'll just move on to the next question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been known to encourage leaders and encourage teams to embrace uncertainty.
Yeah.
Now, that's something that is all over this world today is uncertainty.
Yeah.
But that's really a bold message to push. So why do you push embracing uncertainty?
Well, if you use it as a tactic rather than as a threat, and if you think about it, if I asked you guys a question, I said, are interest rates going to go up or are they going to go down? Well, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's prepare a little on the upside. Let's prepare a little on the downside. At least think about what we would do in advance of that happen. And our labor rate's going to go up or down? Is labor scarcity going to go up or down? Is the supply chain going to get better or worse? And all these have answers, and all these answers have choices. And if you prepare a little bit, not very much, just a little bit in advance, you know what happens? Your competitors sitting on their heels and they're wondering how you handled all that curveball.
Yeah.
That big old slider came in right over the plate, and well, wait, I was expecting a slider. So you know what I did? I just poked it out of the park while my competitors are going, where's my bat?
Yeah, striking out.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if you use uncertainty as an ally rather than as an enemy, what happens is your preparation deepens. And you get to talk to your people about it. You can say, I mean, if there's things in Washington State right now, there's a lot of uncertainty because the government's going a little bit crazy. Well, if they're going to do that, what are we going to do? Well, if you have the answer before the question gets asked, just means you're taking a little more time, being a little more thoughtful.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. You wrote a book specifically about building men. You know, there it is, right there. There it is. It's a
way to go, Russ.
Right.
Cheap plug.
There it is.
Cheap plug. I'm here for you.
and during this time, I think everybody can agree that manhood is being completely redefined and debated on what manhood is. Because, us being a little bit older, we were raised by older men, and those guys were built different.
Oh yeah.
So what led you to write this book? And what message do you want? Because I'm young men to walk away with.
Yeah. Well, for starters, I wrote it to tell a story about people who invested in me when they didn't necessarily have the time or any need to do it, but they did it anyway. And so every one of us has a great opportunity to mentor someone. And if this can encourage people to mentor people, then that's part of the reason of the book. But, I thought, we're going to get 7 grandpas and 10 dads to buy this, and then it'll be at the dust pile. But I was sadly mistaken, not only on how many copies there were going to need, but who was going to buy it, because the first week it was a #1 new release in single parenting.
Wow.
And I was like, but I didn't write it for that. And you know what I found out? There's a lot of women out there who are going, listen, I'm a single parent and I need some help in terms of what does it look like to raise a son. They're sitting there, they've never been a mama before, and they've never been they've certainly never been a daddy before, and now they're in a place where they have to raise. And there's so many homes that are without a father these days that if they need a little help and this can help them, that's great. But that's not necessarily why I wrote it. That the second time it hit the bestseller list, it was in business mentoring. I'm like, okay. Wow. So, I mean, these are in large part, they're stories about my family and the friends of my family. And I mean, first chapter is about my grandpa. Second chapter is about my brothers. I got 6 brothers.
Wow.
Sister. And so I talk about them. And then the next chapter is about my dad. And so But it goes into teachers. It goes into the pilots who had inspired me. It goes into people that worked with my grandpa. And, there's 4 guys in there that were born in 1925. And
Wow.
all of them were tough guys. They were they all grew up either in Europe or in the Pacific Theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there was probably not the guys you want to whine to, but those are the guys who will mentor you in what it looks like to toughen up a little bit and be a man.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
And I got millennials in there. I got some Gen Xers in there too. So I didn't leave anybody out. I didn't leave anybody.
Covering everybody.
Covering the whole gambit. That's it right there.
Well, and the lesson there is we can learn a lot from this younger generation. Not only from a technological level, but on I could work on my kindness sometimes a little bit. And my grandchildren can even point that out to me, and I have an opportunity to learn from that. Yeah.
It took me a long time too, because I was called Mr. Grinch for a little while, because I'm just not, it is, I'm very direct, and it comes off as being mean.
Yeah.
So I just say, hey, let me get that, hey, can you pass me that? Or can you pass me such and such? I really wasn't raised that way. Hey, give me that. Here you go. And that was it. So yeah, you do have a different way of speaking, and and each generation has its own thing.
Yeah. I get up on stages a lot, and because that's most of what I do now is public speaking. And I encourage audiences to do this. Remember that we can be generous listeners. And the way that we listen is to make eye contact with people. Yeah. And then we close our mouth, and then we put down our phone, and then we give them our attention with our ears. Yeah. And when we do that, we use both generous listening, and then we invest time into people, and that helps build relationships. Yeah. Yeah. And then the last point of the 3. So it's generous listening, and then build relationships. And the last point is respect. And I ask audiences all the time, I said, is respect given or is respect earned? And all the old people say it's earned. And all the young people say it's given. And I'm like, well, what would happen if we gave respect before it was earned, and we earned respect before it was given? Well, y'all, the world would be a better place.
That makes so much sense, because
it does.
It makes so
does.
Much sense. But I understand both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
Because you have to have some respect.
Yeah.
In order to get respect.
Yep.
But you got to earn it to keep it.
Yeah. And you know what? Most of the people in those audiences, they'll be kind of diametrically opposed to that concept of giving and earning. Yeah. And by the end of a 1-hour speech, you see people going, well, you know what? I probably could give a little more, and I probably could earn a little more. And all of a sudden, I got young people and old people meeting in the middle. It's magical. It's absolutely magical to see them, because a lot of times there'll be the old people on the right side of the room, the young people on the left side of the room. Yeah. And I always thought they're going to split by gender. They're going to split by, any of the other thing that people try to divide us. It's always be age.
It's
always age. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I do. Just like me and Russ, we're divided. Yeah. It is what it is.
By age, yeah.
But Russ, he don't bite. I got to tell you, he don't bite.
freaking young buck over there. It's all right. I don't bite because I forgot my teeth most of the time. So, dementia's sliding out of there too.
Yeah, there you go.
So Jim, there's an expression that you've used, management by cliché.
Yeah.
That phrase or statement is either genius or can be dangerous depending on how you use it.
Yeah.
So kind of break that one down for us and what you actually mean by that one.
Okay. So I have one of my partners in the business. that we merged together. His name is Eric. He's great. He's like smarter than 10 of me, right? And we had these sayings on our wall about quality, safety, character, and delivery. And he said, I like those, but there's nothing new there. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're right. There's nothing new there. And I said, well, why do you say that? And he says, because all of us who have actually built something of value just use the cliches of other people that have been proven over time. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. Management by cliche.
Mhm.
And so I'll give him the credit for coming up with it, but it's simply business proverbs that worked. And so that book is about 2 months from coming out. It's called Management by Cliche, Business Proverbs that Worked. And they are so, I guess I'm going to say simple, but they're not simple.
Yeah.
They're simple in terms of their expression, but not necessarily in terms of their application. So, and that book got picked up by Morgan James. And so I'm seriously happy. I can't wait for it to come out so I can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote that one down so I can make sure to be on the lookout for that one.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm really, and there's so many ones that will resonate even with the younger folks here. And here one of them comes from our tower business, and it's really around safety. And it says it's so complex. If your spidey senses tingling, stop what you're doing.
Yep.
If your spider sense is tingling, just stop what you're doing. And like everybody is going to look at me and go, what did he mean by that? No, nobody ever said that. Everybody's like, oh yeah. Like I felt that pucker factor, and I'm gonna look around and see what's going to hurt me. Yeah. And there's many different things. When we ran this business, we told our employees, when you deal with a customer, I want you to overpromise, or I want you to underpromise and overdeliver. Yeah. And that's a business proverb that's always worked. So
wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's cool, man. So when you step on stage, into a room full of like business leaders and CEOs and upper management, what message are you most called to deliver to these gentlemen and ladies?
Wow. If it's a leadership group, I always tell stories. I think that people can learn from our stories. Stories resonate with people. And so we were in the business of buying businesses at one point because we were adding to the size of the company. And so rather than go in the ivory tower and up the elevator, I would go in the back door in the shop. And I would put my finger on the pulse of the people who were actually doing the work and making the money. Yeah. And I actually went into business. We didn't buy this one, and I'll tell you why. I walked in and I was in the back door. Now I'm not in a jacket and tie and a collared shirt. I got t-shirt and jeans on, and I'm standing in the back, and I was there for about 20 minutes inside the building before anybody asked me who I was.
Yeah.
And everybody's walking around, they're kind of glum, and they're kind of like, this is not the place I want to be. Yeah. Well, guess what? That was the kiss of death on that acquisition right there. And many people who are in executive positions, they do not understand that the countenance of their least employee is the best their company can be.
Yeah.
Wow. You show me an unhappy janitor, I'll show you a dirty bathroom. You show me a dirty bathroom, I'll show you a guy where I don't give a crap anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, as sad as it is, that is absolutely true.
You know what the cool part is? It's so easy to fix.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is so easy to repair that by just, hey, you know what? I was the first one to show up at our office, and guess who made the coffee?
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then we a lot of times had a night shift, and I would go in when the night shift started. I would like go home for supper and then come back when the night shift started. It wasn't very far from me. And they would catch me loading the dishwasher and taking out the garbage. And you know what message does that send to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Ain't
taking
nobody-
ownership. You know,
Ain't nobody too good. Ain't
That's
no,
right.
nobody too good
Yeah.
to get this work done. And and if you need me, I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
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 Wow. I was the guy that got his own coffee pot, so I didn't have to be the one making the coffee for everybody. I had a little single pot
Hey,
over my little area.
Jimmy,
Make it for me.
he's still stingy. He wants to act like, oh, I don't want to do it. No, he's just stingy. He didn't want nobody to touch his stuff.
Dude, I'm sending you a Starbucks card, Russ.
So, Les, before you hopped on, Jim and I were talking, and I was telling him that, about being in Raleigh. I was at the Rise tour in Raleigh. And so I got a chance to be in the room with some pretty amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim, I'm going to throw this question at you because one of the gentlemen I got a chance to talk to, Delano A. Johnson, I was asking him about being on stage and looking at people that are more experienced and having that fear of coming behind them and having to compare yourself, especially when there's multiple. Like if you're the only speaker, you're it. But when you got like 10, 15 different people giving messages, how do you get over that fear when you actually get up on stage?
Yeah. Well, I mean, number one, there's nobody who can compare with me. And I don't mean that from an egotistical standpoint. I mean that from I am me. And if I try to pretend to be someone I'm not, I've already lost. Now, I was up on stage after a fellow by the name of Marcus Luttrell. They made a movie about him called The Lone Survivor, and he absolutely stunned the audience. Now, he talked about how he had broken his kneecap. He was shot 11 times. He bit his tongue in half, and then he crawled 7 miles, through the and I had a very badly broken leg. And so they built a ramp for me to get up in my scooter. And so I after Marcus Luttrell was done, I was the speaker right after him. So I got in my scooter and I went to my little elevator and I pulled out on stage and I pulled right up next to the podium. Now I was told that if I stood or put any weight on this leg, that I was going to lose it. So I got to be really careful. But I looked down and my wife was sitting in the front row and she looked at me and she said, the words didn't come out, but I could read her lips. Don't you dare. And I grabbed the handle of the scooter and I grabbed the podium and I popped myself up on my right leg, not putting any pressure on my left one. And I looked at the audience and I said, if you think for one moment that this old man is going to stay seated when there's an American hero in the house, you got another thing coming. And the place went crazy and they gave him another standing ovation, which was deserved. Now, I can't be Marcus Luttrell, but I can tell you that I actually inherited the energy that he left the audience with. And so at the end of the day, you just got to be yourself. And with time, you develop confidence. Clint Pulver told me, so Clint is a speaker out of Salt Lake City, and he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. You should have him on here. But he said, you're in the toughest position of all because you're going to get up on stage and everybody just finished having a rubber chicken and mashed potatoes that were almost cold. And now they're kind of sitting back in their chair thinking, what kind of smuck do I got to listen to now? He said, your job is to take every member of that audience and then put them on your shoulders. And at 67 years old, I want you running up that stairwell and carrying them and lifting the energy of the entire room so they feel electrocuted when you walk on that stage.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's my job. I love it.
I love the intensity.
Yeah.
You know, the intensity and the excitement. This has been great.
There ain't no better job than speaking from a stage.
I know.
Yes,
that's all right.
Absolutely. We're running a little low on time, Jim. And you were talking about doing a 2-hour show. I mean, we could very easily go another hour with you and just keep going. This has been awesome. We've really enjoyed talking to you, listening, and learning from you. But if you could share how people can find you, follow you, find your podcast, find your book, and just everything. Just how can the ManSpace Nation find out more about you?
Yeah, easiest way is the Jim Tracy, THE, Jim, JIMTRACY.com. Books on Amazon, and new book will be on Amazon or wherever you get books. And there's a Audible version of it that's really cool. But I think that's the best way to go is thejimtracy.com. The Grampian on YouTube is fine. Wherever you get your podcast. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Now, Jim, there's one thing that we'd love to do here on the ManSpace podcast, and we'd like to close it out with the last word.
And now, the last word.
The last word is to you, Jim. So with everything that you have built, flown, written, and experienced, if you had to look every man listening dead in the eye and finish this sentence, the moment a boy truly becomes a man is not when he achieves something, it's when he
is grateful.
Grateful. I love that. I love that. Grateful.
Yeah.
That's it. We're gonna go to break on that because that was it. Jim, thank you so much for being part of the ManSpace podcast. This has been tremendous. We've really, really enjoyed it. And man, soon as that next book comes out, I really want to circle back with you and have you back on so we can have some more conversations, but even discuss this new book.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Jim, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for you guys.
No, we're grateful for you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it, sir.
Absolutely.
All right.
ManSpace Nation, we'll be back with more of the ManSpace podcast.
As we do each week, we like to close the show with just a little bit of inspiration. Time. Time is the great equalizer. Every day, billionaires, students, athletes, and that guy who somehow spends 3 hours watching videos about a squirrel all get the same 24 hours. The funny thing about time is we treat it like it's unlimited, right up until the deadline shows up. Then suddenly, we discover hidden superpowers. A project that could have taken 2 weeks somehow gets finished in only 2 hours. You see, the secret to managing time isn't about finding more of it. It's about using it better. Start by prioritizing what matters the most. Make it simple. Do a list and focus on the top few tasks instead of trying to do everything at once. Break big goals into smaller steps and avoid distractions whenever possible. Your phone will survive if you don't check social media every 5 minutes. Remember, small actions repeated consistently create big results. A few pages a day become books read. a few minutes of exercise becomes better health. A little planning each morning saves hours later. So don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is usually disguised as right now. So Manspace Nation, remember this: time flies whether you're using it wisely or not. So you might as well just be in the pilot seat. Until next time.
Man, what a great show today.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a great show.
A tremendous show. Tremendous show. We want to thank our guest today, Jim Tracy. Go check out jimtracy.com. Check out the website. Get the book, Building Men. I mean,
lots of content.
Of amazing stories in this book. Guys, well, I can't say enough about this episode. So a lot of great information. Even our inspirational moment down to time. You know, use your time wisely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because time actually flies. You know, I was talking to one of my coworkers today, and she had been out after having shoulder replacement. And she said, I've been gone for 10 weeks. I was like, has it been 10 weeks already? You know, because the time just flew by. It seemed like she was only gone for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it's been 10 weeks that I've been out.
Wow.
And, you know, you don't realize this year is almost halfway over with already.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you waiting on?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. You can't wait. The one thing you'll never get back in life is time.
That's it. That's
time.
it.
You'll never get it back. So use it wisely and use it to your strength at every moment of every day.
And that's it.
Absolutely.
And what we're going to use is our time to talk about WTMS TV, because on Monday nights on WTMSTV.com, you get the latest episode of the Manspace podcast 2 days early before it drops to the rest of the world. WTMSTV.com, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch this episode and all the latest episodes 2 days early before it airs to the rest of the world. And on Thursday nights, it's Throwback Thursdays with back-to-back episodes of the Manspace podcast. WTMSTV.com. Now, with that said, don't forget the Less Meme Tournament. June 25th. You got to subscribe to us on Manspace Nat 1.
Oh, here we go.
On Instagram, and check the stories starting June 25th and vote.
Yeah, please vote. Please vote.
Yeah.
He-Man will be
with that said. Yes. With that said,
we're out of here.
Hey, wait.
You got to do it again. Do it again.
Come on, man.
All right, my bad. Let me get serious. Okay.
Wait for your line. Doggone it. I can't even look.
He-Man!
No gimmicks, just game that my sure in sight. They shine like the city on a Friday night. Man talk, real talk, that's the way that you bless. Giving knowledge and some laughs in the same finesse. From life goes to the jokes that hit. They the tag team champs, yeah, legit with the wit. So pull up a chair, let the stress digest. From the beat drops, you know the rest. You go chillin' with Russ and Les.